the team members of Group Q. Team member Annie Rue. She is from Dublin, Ohio, and plans to major in electrical and computer engineering. Her section for the programming code was the first half of the scoring code. Team member Russell Bowen. From South Charleston, Ohio, he plans to major in civil engineering. His section for the programming code of the project was the second half of the scoring code. Team member Luke Kumler. From Lancaster, Ohio, he plans to major in mechanical engineering, and his section for the programming project code was the display of the rolling dice and the final compilation of the code. Team member Chris Calkins. He's from Chardon, Ohio, and he plans to major in chemical engineering. His section for the program project code was the scoring and display section of the code. The task given to Group Q was to design a functional game using MATLAB coding and record and document the entire process. Group Q's process for completing the project. The group decided to create a game of Yahtzee as their submission for the project. They created an algorithm for the game first, and then each section of the code was assigned to a different team member and broken up. The code was finished by each team member, sent in and compiled by the final team member, and debugged to make sure it worked. Then all the processes and steps were recorded and documented.
The summary of the project is to create a game of our choosing. In this case, we chose Yahtzee as a game we would develop. In our multiplayer game of Yahtzee, the player is allowed to roll 5 dice, see the results of each roll, and is granted the ability to re-roll any number of dice up to 2 times. The player will then receive a prompt to choose a category in which he or she will appropriate the score into. The player with the highest score in accordance to traditional Yahtzee rules will win, and the program will conclude with a congratulatory message.
My name is Russell. I'm with Group Q, and we decided to create the game Yahtzee in MATLAB, and what I'd like to do is take a minute and give a brief overview of how the game functions. When you start the game up, you'll notice there are some instructions here at the top, but most importantly here at the top are the scoring categories. We'll refer to those later and how they work once we get something to score. But let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're prompted to add, the program prompts is how many players are there? Well, it's just me doing this example, so there's one of me. And hit enter, and you'll notice the program gives you a dice roll. Looks like we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, but instead of going for a straight, I think we're going to go ahead and try and get the 3s there. So I'm going to move this over out of the way. Let's see. So, yes, I'd like to re-roll because we're going to try and go for 3s here. So, yes, it asks me what dice do I want to re-roll. I want to re-roll dice number 1, 4, and 5. And it'll re-roll, and it'll give me new roll. Didn't get a better roll, so let's try it again. Yes, I'd like to re-roll that again, please. And the same positions, 1, 4, and 5. And let's see if we get a better roll this time. We did not. Still 2 3s, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll make up for it later. Let's see. Input dice value. We got 4, a 3, a 3, a 1, and a 1. What category would I like to score in? If we refer back up to the categories, we were shooting for the 3s, and convenient enough, row number 3 is the 3s. So we scroll back down. What's category? Category number 3 to score, and it'll ask me again, what player am I? I am player number 1. So you'll notice here it puts my actually quite terrible score of the 3 section into my 3 category. Now the game will continue just like this until I've got a score in each one of these rows. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and take a quick break. I'm going to continue playing through this, and I'll come back at the end so we can see how the game finishes up. Alright, and continuing on, the only section I have left here are the ones. I've done okay. I managed to actually get me a Yahtzee. So on the roll we've got 4, 2, 2, 3, and 2. Of course, does me no good in a 1 section, which is why it's still there. So yeah, we'd like to re-roll that, and we would like to re-roll them all because we didn't get a single one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's see, not a single one again. So yes, please give me something, or we're gonna have to take a 0. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Not a single one, but that's okay. That's okay. 3, 2, 6, 3, and 2. What category? The ones. category number 1 is the ones. So scored number 1, I am player number 1, and it gave me a 0 here, but more importantly, player 1 is the winner. That's me. That only happened because I am playing solo. It would display the winner if there would have been more than one player. It would have displayed whoever had the highest score. So that is how our Yahtzee coding functions.
Hello, my name is Luke, and I'm here to talk a little bit about why you should purchase this Yahtzee game. There are 3 key qualities of Yahtzee that give this game such great value. The first is that Yahtzee is a quick game to play. While other games may require players to sit down for hours at a time in order to finish, Yahtzee is a game that can be played in under 10 minutes. The second is that Yahtzee is a replayable game. Yahtzee is a game of chance, and therefore it can be played an infinite number of times and still achieve a different outcome. This means that no matter how many times you play it, Yahtzee never gets old. The third and final reason that Yahtzee is such a smart buy is that Yahtzee can be played with up to 3 players. If you're by yourself, you can play single player mode to try and beat your high score, or if you have 1 or 2 friends with you, gather them round and compete against each other in the multiplayer mode. As you can see, there are many reasons to consider purchasing this wonderful game. With its quick-paced action, replayability, and multiple playing modes, Yahtzee is a purchase that you won't regret.